Welcome to B.A.Showoff, the dance lifestyle podcast. I'm Becky.
And I'm Alexandra. And whether you're a dance coach, dance parent, or a dancer yourself, this is the show for you. Today, we're meeting with Melissa Martinez.
Hi.
Hello.
Melissa.
Thank you for having me.
No, we love that you're here with us today.
I'm so excited to be here. I love that you guys have created this platform to talk about all things dance. I think it's so super important. So I'm just glad to be here.
Well, we're happy to have
We're
you.
happy to have you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you started in dance?
So I started when I was 3 years old, but I started with hip hop and tap. So I didn't really get into competitive dance until a few years later. I did hip hop and tap for like 4 years, and then I wasn't a huge fan of the studio that I was at, so I left and I took a little bit of a break from dance just to, I don't know, I feel like it's important to enjoy where you are at your studio, and I feel like I kind of like lost my love for dance a little bit, but I was so young that I also think that at least my mom never pressured me to get back into dance and we have to immediately go to a studio. It was always, if I want to dance, I can dance. And if we want to take a little break, we can take a little break. But I knew that I enjoyed dancing. I loved to dance. And I just wanted to find a studio that was going to be right for me and the things that I wanted to do. So around, I want to say like 8 or 9 years old, I moved to Miami Dance Company. It was Kick It Up at the time. Now it's Miami Dance Company. And I, again, did hip hop and tap. And they came to me and they told me that they wanted to add me to their competition team, but their hip hop competition team. So I was like, for sure, let's do it. My mom was excited and it was something new. And I loved hip hop. So she was like, let's get her on stage. Let's get her competing. And then I did that for 2 years. And I was just surrounded by such talented dancers that I was like, I want to do the lyricals and the jazzes and the contemporaries, and I know that I can do it, so I need to train. And for an entire year, I ate salad only because I had a lot of baby fat. And I was like, I was sitting next to like Mia Alonso, who's like a skinny little thing, and she was in her overstrato, and I couldn't even get down. I didn't even have a butterfly. And I was like, okay, I need to eat right. I need to train hard if this is what I want to do. And like that discipline came from me and me only. My mom never pressured me to do anything. I was just in a room with dancers that were obviously better than me, and I wanted to be like that. Becca Talavera was also in one of those rooms. So I knew what the standard was for the studio at the time. And if I wanted to be in all 12 dances like every other competitive dancer that was at the studio, I just knew that I had to train and work really, really hard towards it. So I did that for an entire year. I went to every single class that they offered in the summer. I was there every single day in the summer and eventually tried out for all of their competition pieces. And I did that until I was 18 years old, and I loved every second of it. And I really found, it reignited my love for dance moving to Miami Dance Company.
And your mom, I remember that your mom was a trainer.
A boot camp trainer.
So that probably helped a lot, that she knew how to eat healthy. She
Yes.
knew how to, be in shape.
She did, and she helped me whenever I needed it. But she also, again, she wasn't the one saying you need to eat a salad for an entire year. I was I was not punishing myself, but I knew that I needed to lose some weight. I needed to work on my flexibility, and there's just so much that goes into it that your body needs to be you just have to be strong. You have to train for it. You have to eat right, because that trickles into your mind. And I think that at such a young age, I had a really good mindset on, if this is my goal, I have to work towards that, and what can I do to get there? And she helped me along the way. Never forced it, but definitely was like, let's go do some burpees. Let's go to the park. Let's run the bleachers a million times. Like, if this is what you want to do, we're going to do that. And she did, and she helped me. And it got me to where I wanted to be.
People don't realize how important the workout aspect is in being a dancer, because you have to have the stamina.
Right.
And you don't think about that when you're a dancer. You do a combo, and the combo is, a minute long.
Right.
And then you get off and the next group goes. So you're really not working on that stamina. So it is so important. Dancers don't realize that working on the stamina on your own time is what's going to help you on the stage in the long run.
Exactly. I think that even aside from stamina, just like building your muscles. And again, I went from being in 2 dances to 14 dances, because at the time, I feel like studios now don't put their kids in 14 dances.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But I was in 14 dances, and I needed that. I needed it because the stamina goes a long way, but also you're so tired.
You have to use your muscles in everything.
In everything.
And dynamic in your movement, all of that requires muscle strength.
And even at the studio, every Thursday for a whole hour, we would work out at the studio. He like built a whole gym in the back room, and workout was a part of the curriculum at the studio. So they were big on working out and making sure we were toned, and we had the stamina, and we had the power to get through 14 dances, because they also understood that it was a lot. But we wanted it. I wanted to be in 14 dances. I wanted to be there Monday through Friday till 10 o'clock at night, and then Saturday for 8 hours. Nobody forced us to do that, but we wanted to do that. And so they helped facilitate that and helped us stay on our A game the whole time with everything that we were doing.
I think that says a lot about a studio, that kids want to be there, that they don't feel forced.
Yeah.
When kids want to be there, they find the time, they put other things behind and say, no, I'll do that later. I'm going to go to I want to be at the studio, and they don't complain about it.
Right.
That says a lot about the studio, that they're doing something right, because
They did.
I think that every studio is not that way
At
I
all.
think there's a lot of studios that kids are like, I don't want to go to class. I don't want to
Yes.
be there. I don't want to go on set. I don't want to rehearse. And when you're not loving being there, it affects the, not just the dancer, but the whole entire group in general, because
Right.
people are not happy.
Right. It's crazy that you say that, because this morning I'm on social media and I saw a mom post her daughter. She was maybe 7 or 8 years old. And the kid was on the beach doing like all these tricks. Like you could tell that she was a very talented dancer. I don't know if she actually goes to studio or dances or not, but just from a little clip that the mom posted, you could tell that this dancer is so talented and was just like free-spirited, doing all these crazy tricks on the beach. And the top comment with at least, I think it was like 100,000 likes was, you can clearly see how passionate she is for dance. I hope that she has teachers that don't take that away from her. And it had 100,000 likes. And thankfully, that was not my experience. I had such amazing teachers that pushed me and poured into me, but I know most of my friends had bad experiences at their studios.
Well, so like you were saying about the 14 dances, I think that a lot of studios, when the kids are little, they do 14, 16, all these dances, and the kids, when they're little, they're like, okay, they want to do it. But what they don't realize is that they're burning out the kids at a very young age.
Yeah.
And the kid is not going to survive doing all those dances for 10, 15 years.
Right.
You want to do that little bit
Yeah.
and a little bit. So, when they're young, they're going to want to do more 8 dances, a solo.
Right.
But these kids that are being burned out and being told you have to do this many dances.
3 solos, 2 duos,
It's
10 dances.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And then it's a lot of financial burden on the family, on the parents, that, each solo is a certain amount of money. And even then, when you were young, solos were, okay, you did a solo. But now it's like solo, private,
Right.
another private, a private with somebody else, private for the solo.
And you're not just getting a solo from your teacher. You're getting a solo from somebody they flew in.
Yes.
Right.
So it becomes a lot. And
Yeah.
at the same time, if I'm a parent, I don't want to restrict my child from what all the other kids are doing. That's going to make them feel bad. So then I
Right.
feel like I have to keep up with
To
that.
provide. Yeah.
And I have to keep.
I
I have to keep
worked.
doing more.
I worked since I was 11 or 12, and I worked at the studio, and I was an assistant in classes, and I would go in on a Saturday for 3 hours and assist in acro class, and all of those hours that I worked would go back into me and into my training and into my solos and group dances, because my mom could not afford it.
Yeah.
They did what they could, but when it got to the point of wanting me to be in 10 dances, it's a lot. It's really, and then it's costumes, and it's just a lot. So I always worked to pour back into my dancing because I had to, and I would do it over and over again because I loved it. But you got to make ends meet some way, somehow, and it is very expensive.
Yeah, no, and it's expensive, and sometimes you don't understand the burden you put on parents. The parent wants their kid to have the opportunities.
Right.
Kid 1, 2, and 3 are having it. My kid's number 4.
Yeah.
If I don't do it, they're going to be left out.
Yeah.
And you don't want your kid left out.
Yeah.
So you're going to find a way of making it happen, but you don't realize when you're in a studio how much those expenses add up.
Yeah.
And it might get to the point that, listen, I can't do it anymore.
Right.
And now the one that's affected is the kid.
Yeah.
So it's hard. And I know that parents try to balance out, trying to keep their kid happy, trying to give them everything, paying for everything, whatever they could afford, and taking out a second mortgage.
Right.
But I know, like, when she was young, I would tell her, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I think the maximum amount of I had 2 solos, and you wouldn't let me have a third.
No, I would never let you have a third. And if you had 2, it's because somebody that I knew choreographed the second one.
Yeah, that was pretty much what it was.
So, but having, it's just, to me, it wasn't worth it. I think that one solo, show off everything you have.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a good dancer. You're a good dancer.
Right.
You're gonna win regardless.
You also didn't let me have the privates. You would be like, you want a private? I'll do a private.
Yeah, I do.
You want a private? Let's go do a private.
I mean, that's great. Like, she's like, is it?
It was
if Becky
great.
was my mom, I would take privates from her.
And then the worst would be that she would be like, I don't like that. We're gonna change it. And then I would go back to my teacher. My teacher would be like, who changed that?
it?
I'm like,
mom.
My mom. She'd be like, who's your teacher? Me or your mom? And I was like, and then she would go, I'm your mom. I tell you what to do.
I'm the one paying.
So no privates for me.
And then no more solos.
No more solos.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot, and I feel for parents because, I mean, again, I know when she was young or when you were young, it was a lot, but nowadays, it's so competitive. And you've got to pour everything into, that one solo.
It's a major commitment.
It is. In that same breath, these choreographers have their rate because, like, it's for a reason. So it is very expensive, and it's a lot for the parent, but also these choreographers need to get paid what they deserve to get paid. Yeah. So it's like a give and take of, like, it is really expensive, but if that was me,
you want the best.
I need to pay my bills. I need to do X, Y, Z. Like, I need to get paid what I need to get paid and what I think what I'm worth. It's hard because now I'm in I'm a choreographer. I'm a dance teacher, so I want to make sure that it's just hard because everything is so expensive. But I have a future that I have to plan for too, and luckily we have parents that are super understanding about that. But it's a balance of I need to get paid what I believe I'm owed and what I think I'm worth, while also not draining you of everything that you have.
Well, again, a lot has changed from, at least when I was young, we didn't do all those studio competitions, and we didn't have an EV recital every year. So there was a recital every other year. So the parents were paying for the recital, 1 year yes, 1 year no.
Okay.
And then the following year was a training year. Like, it was just training. When I got a little older, they would do a competition here and there, but for the most part, it wasn't like now. But I think that made such a difference in having those talented dancers that they really got a full year. There was nothing else to focus on but taking class.
That's great.
And you would just go to studio, take your class. I was able to take all different styles because, I'm there Monday for 3 hours, Tuesday for 2 hours, Wednesday for 3 hours. But my weekends were my weekend.
Yeah.
I was with my family, with my friends.
Yeah.
So a lot has changed, and, some of it is for the good. But I worry that kids now are just going to dance to compete.
Yeah.
That they're not going to dance to train.
And
to be
again, a
dancers.
lot of studios only focus on competition dances, and they don't give them that time to train.
It's hard. It's impossible.
I know.
I mean,
Right.
I don't even blame them. I think there's only so much time that you have
in the week.
Well, and we've talked about it before. A lot of these kids can do 17 back tucks, but they can't do a correct tendu. And it's because they're not putting the right focus into the ballet, the technique, all of that. And they're focusing on, okay, what's the thing that's going to do the best at competition?
Right. What's
going to
next,
check that box?
The next best trick. What's the next best this? And it's fundamentals.
Right. The fundamentals completely lack.
That is what will get you to the best trick that's trending right now.
Yeah.
If you can't point your feet and lock your knees, what's the point of getting that trick?
Yeah.
And I think that we've lost that a little bit. And I
A
know the
lot of it.
stress. I know the stress of, getting closer to competition and be like, we got to clean the dance. We got to be in the dance. We got to be in the dance. But I think that we need to find a way to make that balance again.
Yeah.
And finding time to, every Monday is just class. Monday is we're focusing on technique, and there's no rehearsal Monday. And Tuesday, all right, we have a warm up, and then we could, rehearse the dance. But somehow we've got to go back to that. And I know that there are studios who try, but if they're not trying to keep up with that studio that's doing 55 competitions and this one that's doing 30 competitions, kids leave because they want to be on that stage competing.
I know.
It is a hard balance.
It's hard.
And I'm glad I don't have little kids to worry about that.
I know. When I was at my studio, that was one of the things we fought for, because we loved combos, we loved taking class, and then it kind of shifted once we got into we're taking 60 dances to a competition. It became every single day we're only focusing on our competition dances. And I remember me and like 4 of my friends at the time went up to my teacher and we were like, can we just do a combo class one day? Like, can we just, like, next Monday, can you come in and let's just dance, let's have a good time. And I think that she saw that we were longing for just a feel good, let's turn the lights off, let's just dance and have a good time, that then for the rest of the year she implemented, okay, on Mondays it's combo classes, and then for the rest of the week we can focus on competition dances, because she saw that we were getting burnt out of doing the same thing over and over again.
And then you stop loving it.
Yes, and I think it was around the time too that we were auditioning for Reef. Like, we were about to come into high school, and we just needed more training and more time to do different things, because only focusing on competition dances will only get us so far in the things that we actually need for our futures when it came to auditioning for teams or my friends that were auditioning to New World. It was just, we were lacking those combo classes and that technique class that we really wanted and that we needed.
And it's funny because, I mean, I don't have all the answers, but I know that I see it as we're getting in competition season, how there's no time. So it's, we are rehearsing. And that's that we have a magnet program, and I have a little bit more time to be able to train with the kids. But they still are focused on competition.
Yeah.
We spent a month, 2 months like that.
Yeah.
Now that, we finish competition, they're like, take
Taking
a class. And it's like, they're like, I forgot how to dance. I forgot. How do I can't remember, because it's you lose that. You lose that, part of something that was so natural for you, but you go some time without doing it, you start losing your flexibility. You start losing like the memory.
Yes. Being able to pick up choreo quickly.
Yeah. Even though because we do the changing choreo the night before, but it's so different.
It's different.
It's so different. It's different from I'm learning a combo versus I am, I'm changing a part of my dance that I'm going to compete tomorrow.
Right, and I have to wake up at 6 a.m. and remember my change.
Right.
It's so different compared to for an hour, I'm learning this combo, and then at the end I have to go in a group of 3. Am I going to remember my combo?
Right.
Like, it's different.
Yeah, no, and I don't have all the answers, but I think that part of it, at least for dance teams, the kids have to make the effort to do it on their own time.
Yeah.
Yes.
To go and
you were big on that.
Yeah.
Like, huge. I remember you had like a log. You would give us a log, and every summer we would have to write out all the classes we took during the summer to make sure that we were taking class on our own time before coming back in. It was like a whole thing.
Yeah, and it keeps you like fresh. I mean, clearly I'm all about spending time with your family, resting, vacation. I think every dancer needs their downtime. They need to step away, especially in the summer, like, all right, let me have nice fun time, and then to get refocused and then start again. You need that recharge. But I still, at the same time, it's very hard if the dancers are not continuing to train consistently and taking classes in different styles. It's very hard for them to continue growing as dancers if they don't do that on their own.
Right.
And I wish here in Miami, we don't have it in Miami, but I wish Miami had like a Broadway dance center, like something that kids could just go and take class.
Yeah.
That it's just master classes constantly. And
we had a Millennium for
I was just going to say, Millennium tried for like 2 weeks.
But they also just were in such a bad location.
Area,
Like they were like...
Parents were scared to leave their kids there.
It was a long drive.
I drove there like 2-3 times to take a class myself, and that was like scary for me.
Yeah, no.
And I was already out of college.
I think that the idea was great. It needed to have been a different location.
I agree.
And really, Wynwood is a super cool place. The design district is a super cool place, but not for young kids to go take dance.
At all.
And if they would have done that further south, I think that a lot more kids, especially high school kids, would have been, more like excited about going to take those master classes.
I'm pretty sure I was a junior when I went to Millennium.
I remember you going, yes. Yeah.
It was to Will DeBeese's class, Carlos Talavera. It was us 3. And we did the drive and we did the whole thing, and it was a great class. The energy in that room was electric. And then we didn't go back because it was a super far drive. It was super late at night. We were high schoolers. And
not the safest place.
Not the safest place. So
I know. Even me as an adult, like when I would go take, I would take workout classes, fixing classes at Body and Soul. That is not a bad location. I mean, it's in a decent location, but I know that it would be at night, and I would have to park a little far and walking by myself. I remember I would freak out.
It was in warehouse area. Even though Coral Gables is a great area, but it was in like a warehouse area. Yeah. Well, when I used to teach Vixen, I would have to go to the Wynwood studio. That was scary for me.
Wow.
Yeah, and imagine for kids or parents, like, I'm going to drive all the way over there. I'm going to sit in my car
for an hour and a half.
Which at least that was more of an adult class. It was not necessarily, like, you wouldn't have anybody that was under the age of, like, 17 going. Yeah. But still.
So if anybody, wants to start a business, I think that would be a great business here in Miami, in the South area, to open up a studio where it's just master classes that anybody can go and take, class. You could have any type of style, bring in master teachers. Yeah. If you're a teacher, a choreographer, teacher somewhere else, and you want to come to Miami, how great. You come to Miami, spend a week teaching master classes.
Well, and we've had choreographers come down and be like, so I don't have anything to do with the beginning of my day because I don't have, practice with you guys until in the afternoon. Do you know any studios that would want to have me? Yeah. Like, there's lots of people that need that.
Yeah, so we've had to do that with several people when they come down and try to find classes. And then it's hard because studios, they don't want to pay sometimes for, to have like a master teacher like that. But I think that if the community gets involved in that kind of world of, we're going to bring this big name. Yeah, you're going to pay $25 to take this class for $30, but it's somebody worth it.
Right.
I think people would be more,
I agree.
More excited about doing that.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. We have a few studios that it's like that you can go take class, but I want to say it's like 18 plus. If you're under 18, that you can't go take classes.
Well, Showstoppers.
That's what I was going to say. Showstoppers at De Vivo. Yeah. There's a few. Yeah. But again, if you're a high schooler just looking for training, wanting to go take class, you can't really go there.
No. Yeah. And I mean, there's reasons for that, but
right.
I get it. But I think that that's something that would help our kids, and especially because there's so many kids in high school now, so many high schools that have dance teams. A lot of those kids don't have time to go to the studio, or they can't afford studio anymore because they have to choose one or the other.
Right.
But if they had to have the opportunity to just take a master class, that would be a great way.
Yeah.
So after high school, what is it that you went on to do?
So after high school, well, first, my senior year, I was back and forth on whether I wanted to go to college and do a dance team and dance in college, or if I wanted to stay here in Miami and dance professionally. And I was kind of going back and forth. And you were like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know, Becky. I don't know what I want to do, but I know that I want to dance. I know I want to dance. I know that I want to do commercial dance. I don't know if leaving and going far away to college and dancing in college is what I want to do, but I know that I want to dance no matter what. And you slid me a pamphlet and you were like, 2 weeks from now, he is having auditions, go. And I was like, are you sure? Like, what do you, and I'm like this little 18-year-old and I'm like, what do you mean go audition for Heat? Because now the ages have changed, but at the time, it was like 25 and up. Like the girl, like they were women on this team. And I was like, are you sure?
But you always looked like a woman, so.
Thanks. I mean, I thought I was. I don't know if I looked like one, but I sure thought I was grown. But I was still nervous. I was still scared. And I went to all the workshops and I auditioned in June and I made it on the Heat when I was 18, and it was an amazing experience. I was, again, so young, and I was in a room filled with women that were 27 and lawyers, and one was 30 and had just gotten married and was doing this, and it was just a good room to be in. And me and two other girls, we were the only 18-year-olds. So it was 3 babies on this team with these like grown women that had these businesses and were entrepreneurs and were getting their degrees, and just a good room to be in, to be inspired. Also, you compare yourself a lot, and being that young and being that impressionable, you're like, can I do this? Should I be in this room? But it was also super inspiring at the same time, and it made us mature and made us realize that we are now representing a huge organization, and no matter your age, you have to carry yourself a certain way, and you have to be professional, and you have to be mature. And I feel like I was always mature, but it really puts things into perspective of, okay, this is a big girl job. Like that was my first real job. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm walking into this arena and I'm like,
and talk about like driving somewhere young, because you had to drive downtown so young.
And at like 7:00 at night.
Yeah.
No, it was more like 5:00 because I'm crazy and I would get there 2 hours early because I'm just like an anxious ball of like stress, and I'm punctual. If there is one thing about me, I am punctual and I will be there. And so I would get there at 5:00, wait in the garage, reviewing my dances, going over things like outside of my car in the garage. And then we would start rehearsal at 7:00 and get out sometimes at 1 a.m. And I would have to drive home at 1 a.m. from Bayside. And it was a lot, but it was...
I remember those days.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. I would go to school in the morning, then I would go to Lourdes, and then we would go to Heat at night. And that included promos during the day and finding the time to represent and work and do all the things that I had to do. But Heat was amazing. It opened a lot of doors for me. And again, I knew that I wanted to dance, and it was the perfect outlet for me to dance and be on a court, but on a stage every single night or every 2 days. And I absolutely loved it. And again, it opened a lot of doors for me. So,
because then you also got promos and you got music videos. Didn't you do a music video?
I did too. And then when I finished Heat, I went on tour through one of the choreographers that would come in for Heat. He did a few dances for us. And I remember he reached out to me. He reached out to me when I had not even made Heat. I was still auditioning, and he was like, do you want to come to Costa Rica with me? And I was 18 years old, and my mom was like, absolutely not. You're not going anywhere. Like, focus on Heat, make Heat, and then we'll see what happens. But he was like, let's go. Let me take you on tour. And I was like, I think I'll pass. Let me do Heat first, and then we'll see. And it worked out perfectly. As soon as I left Heat, I went on tour for a Colombian artist, Manuel Turizo, and that was like the most incredible experience of my life. It was amazing. Dancing in front of 70,000 people and opening for people like Mark Anthony and like these incredible artists. It was so fun. I was in a new place, a new country, really every 2 days. It was insane.
How long did you do that for?
A whole year. And it was amazing. And at the time, I was still coaching and still trying to like.
And I want to say the year you went on tour is when I gave you JV.
Yes,
because Melissa started with me as my assistant coach.
Right.
She was my assistant coach for 2 years,
I believe, or maybe 3.
Maybe 3 years. And then
I was also 18. Another shout out to Becky, who was like, my daughter needs help.
Well, and I had told her, I was like, I need help. Like, do you think that Melissa would want to do it? And she's like, I don't know. Yeah. And then she called me like an hour later and was like, so she's going to do it. And
right.
Like, okay, great.
She was like, my daughter needs help. Do you want to help assist her dance team? And I was like, sure, of course.
And she had just graduated from high school, so these kids are like her age.
Yeah, literally.
They were. I was 18, and the graduating seniors were also 18.
But I want to say it was, I want to say it was, I think it was 3 years that you were my assistant coach.
I agree.
Then I gave her JV. And that year that I gave her JV
was the year I was gone every weekend.
And I was like, I'm going to still oversee the program. Don't worry.
Right.
Like, I was still here. But like, you'll do the day-to-day with JV. Focus on JV. She's like, okay, yeah, it'll be fine. And she like came back the following year. She's like, that was a lot.
I was like, oh my God. But luckily I had great captains, great co-captains, and we were constantly messaging back and forth. And I made sure that I would send them a list of all the things that I expected them to do by the time I got back. And we had a really good relationship, me and my officers, that year. So we got stuff done. And I was able, and thank God that I have, someone that I can rely on and that trusts me to go and do these incredible opportunities.
And at the time we were able to go in and out too, because I think at the time we were only rehearsing twice a week.
No.
I think so. Because then I would alternate one day a week and I would be with JV.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
I want to say
and you guys didn't have the stress like you do now because you weren't doing UDA back then.
Correct.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Correct.
Or I think we were going to UDA for the first time.
We were, but we ended up not going. We went to NDA instead.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Yes, you're right. You're right.
I actually no, I think I got it confused. No, because the year we went to NDA
was COVID.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So no, it was the first year we were going to UDA.
Yes, because Nicole's senior year.
Yes.
Who was my captain at the time.
Right. The
So
NBA,
yes, we were going to UDA.
We were.
And I was gone every weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm like calling from Mexico and from Ecuador. I'm like, how was rehearsal? How did it go? Did we do good? Like, what did we get done?
I was still able to go in and out, so they weren't like
alone.
hopeless.
Right. They weren't alone.
They weren't. But I remember it was tough.
It was tough.
It was hard, but it was learning for everybody.
It was.
We
also had like, the stakes weren't as high. We were just coming in, and we were like, whatever happens. Whether we were
we knew
in
from the
fifth place
start
or
it was
10th
going to
place.
be a learning year regardless.
Right. So it was like, let's put our best foot forward. Let's do all the things that we can do to get them as prepared as possible. And when we get to UDA, whatever happens, and we go from there.
Right.
And
exactly.
I think one of the great things for you coaching was that you were an officer on teams. So you knew what it was like to lead a team and what was necessary to get a team
and I was so young. I think back and I'm like, how did Becky like trust me at 16 or I was 16 to like run the entire, like every single rehearsal, because you were with varsity, rightfully so. They needed you more at that time, and you were next door, and you just like trusted me and my officers.
But it made you a better leader because you had, to do it.
Right. I'm like, I have no choice. Like, I have to run this rehearsal, and we did what we had to do.
Yeah. And those were tough years for me because it was me completely by myself.
Yeah.
Doing both teams.
Yes.
Nobody there to help me. Like now I have more help, but back then I had no help. So I needed to rely on you guys a lot.
You did.
And you guys had to, here, this is what you do it.
Exactly. You would send me a list, make sure you do these things today. But you also gave us a lot of freedom to, like, if there was a part that wasn't working, I was able to go up to you and be like, Becky, this isn't working out. Can we change this to this? Like, I would come to you with solutions and be like, we can do A, B, or C. Which one do you like? B? Okay, well, let's try B. And if it works, it works. If not, we keep trying different things.
But that's part of being a good leader.
Yeah.
Is, there'll be people who'll come and be like, yeah, that's not good. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah. But there's no solution. Okay, well, give me a better option.
Right.
Give me something so that I can move forward.
Yeah.
And you were really good about that. And that helps you being a good coach in that you have that.
Yeah.
And you've helped your kids be good leaders too. So it's, you don't realize it when you're young, how those things will trickle into your future.
I see it now. I used to sit in your office on the computer looking for tricks that we can do, sequences that we can do, turns that we can do. Like, if something wasn't working, I was searching, researching, looking things up, figuring out what we could do. And now my kids do that. And I'm like, oh, that was me. That was me. But that's what you want out of your captains and your officers. You want someone that will come to you with the solutions and be like, so last night I stayed up till 12 looking at a million videos, and these are the things that I found. Which one do you want to do? What do you think will work? And I'm like, am I creating mini me's? Like, I'm like, this is insane. Like, I'm seeing myself in the mirror. I can't believe it. But you're absolutely right. Everything that you taught me and trusted me with and allowed me to, because you guided me. You absolutely guided me. But you also allowed me to try different things and see what works. And it's hard at that age because you're trying to get the respect from your teammates who are also your age and who are your best friends. And you kind of have to draw the line of like, and you helped me figure this out. In rehearsal, I'm your captain. And then the moment that we leave and we exit these doors, I'm your best friend again. And that's hard to do at 16 years old. And you helped me and you guided me. And again, now I'm seeing it with my kids. They understand boundaries and they understand my captain is my captain. And when we leave rehearsal, we can be best friends. But you need that person that is going to structure everything the way that it needs to be. There's going to be discipline. There's going to, there's rules that you have to follow because it's a part of team and it's a part of discipline and
it's just part of life.
Right. Being responsible. Because when they do graduate and they go to college and they get these great jobs, everything that you learned, you're going to take with you. And it's important to have that. But you definitely guided me and taught me, and a lot of what I teach my kids now I got from you, and I'm very grateful for that.
Well, I was grateful to have you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
And now Alexandra gets to have you.
Yay! And I get to have Alexandra. Like a piece of you,
Well, and I think that the reason Melissa and I work so well together, she mentioned it earlier, is that she's so anxious.
I am.
And I'm a different kind of, you're an outright anxious. Yeah. I'm an internal anxious. So Melissa will come to me running and be like, what do I do? And I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah, it'll be great.
And then I'll turn around and be like, I don't know, what do I do? And I'll like freak out at myself.
Yeah.
But we work well. Like I calm her down, but she gets me like to the anxious that I need to be.
Yeah.
So tell us how your experience as being a coach and seeing like you started off taking the team, you guys went to Contest of Champions, and then you moved on to UDA, and the stress of doing UDA and this year winning nationals.
Well, we went to NDA in the middle.
Oh. We did. It was a journey because, like she said, I started at 18 and I didn't really know what to expect going to Lourdes, but I knew what worked and I knew what coming off of a winning team looked like. Well, not my senior year, but that's a different story. That's still a sensitive topic.
Separate another podcast.
That's a whole other episode.
That's part 2.
But for the most part, I understood what it took. And I knew that Alexandra had goals and had just dreams for her team, and I knew that I could help her get there because of where I came from and because of the things that I learned. So when I first got to Lourdes, it was very different. It was a super strong varsity team, a strong JV team, but not really, because they would kind of like jump into each other's dances. Like JV wasn't there was a JV team, but they had what, maybe like 2 dances.
They each had, so the way that we had originally structured it, and it was because of when I was on the team and because of contest.
Right, because contest you were able to take way more.
Yeah, each team was doing 2 dances, but then they would do 2 dances together.
Right.
So, but it was very different. Like it was just all structured, very different.
It was.
And I remember when I brought her on, I was like, this is what I need to get to. This is what I'm still cleaning up.
Yeah.
And this is what we need we need to get to.
Yeah.
So
it was very different because, again, I came from working on 2 dances for an entire year until it's perfect. And then I got to Lourdes and it was like, okay, we have to clean 8 dances. And we used to choreograph, and that was super fun that we got.
It was fun.
We had
But
time.
thank God we don't do that anymore.
I know, the stress, but we enjoyed it. And we worked really, really well together when it came to choreography. And then we went to contest, and I was like, UDA is so different and so motivating, and everybody's there watching you even if they don't know you. And maybe it was because of, COVID hadn't happened yet.
No, because she had come to us, I want to say it was the year of COVID.
COVID was 2020.
2020.
Yeah. So, and it was like 2 weeks later. I
graduated 2019.
Yeah, so it was your first year.
Right.
Yeah.
That first year when we went to contest, like there was no camaraderie. Nobody was like sitting on the floor watching our kids. Nobody was cheering for them. And I was like, what kind of competition is this?
It was like too much. Like there were too many divisions. It was too political. Like there was too much.
Yes.
And I remember you came to us and you were like, just move to UDA, and both of us looked at each other like,
no, I was ready.
We wanted to.
We did.
But we were both like, we didn't know if that was the year to do it.
It definitely wasn't, and we knew that.
Yeah.
And thank God that we didn't, because the team at the time did not deserve to go to UDA
I think
at that time.
talent-wise, the following year, because you had told us, you were like, COVID's going to look very different.
Right.
Do it. Pull the trigger.
Right.
And honestly, for varsity, we had the talent.
Yeah.
We didn't have the mindset.
Right.
JV, I don't know if we were ready. But they had the mindset.
They did.
They were different.
Yeah.
And then that's why we took them to NDA.
Exactly. We took them to NDA. They won first in both, which was huge.
Like we got our black jackets.
Yeah, it was really cute.
And we were overall top scoring team.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was a great nationals for them.
Yes.
And the year after, we were kind of going back and forth, and I was like, I remember you telling me like it's scary to like go into this competition that is so prestigious and so many incredible teams go to. And I was like, they're never going to be ready. You just got to throw them in the lion's den and see what happens. And they might sink, they might swim. We'll see what happens, but you just have to do it, because from there, then we know what to work towards, and we can set higher goals, higher standards. But ultimately, we knew that we wanted to separate the teams, give JV their own team, give varsity their own team, only work on 2 dances per year, 8 dances a year. And again, we were rehearsing twice a week or something. How are we going to do this? Like, what?
It was crazy.
Have 2 strong dances, each team perfect those dances, go to a competition that I had been going to for so many years. You used to take us to college nationals every single year, so I knew what to expect. I knew, obviously it's completely different being on the coach's side, but I just love UDA. I love what they stand for. I love the sportsmanship, honestly. Like, everybody is rooting for each other. Everybody wants to see you succeed and win. And it motivates the dancers in a different way than I think any other dance team competition does. So we went and we got 5th, and we didn't make it to finals with hip hop. And again, we had, like, our standards were on the ground. We were like, whatever we get, we're happy
It was honestly a blessing.
Yes.
Going in your first year to
and
UDA,
getting top 5
is incredible. And there was that only making one to finals is honestly a blessing.
Right.
You don't know what you're ready for.
Exactly. So we were happy with whatever we got, and we were so, so, so happy. The following year, we got 4th in jazz, and we made it to hip hop finals. We got 4th in hip hop. The year after that, we got 3rd in jazz. We stayed in 4th in hip hop. The year after that, we got 2nd in jazz, and we didn't make hip hop finals. And that was like devastation to my kids, because they were like, what do you mean? Like, we've worked so hard. We've gotten this far. But there was, I think, 4 people in our category for hip hop. And at the time, they were only taking top 3. And it was hard. Like, the people in our category, 2 out of the 3 that were in our category only do hip hop and pom, no jazz. And I think one of them, or I might be wrong, I know for a fact it was either hip hop and game day or hip hop and pom. So, like, their focus was hip hop. They were a strong hip hop team. The other team did both jazz and hip hop. So it happens, and we didn't do our best, and we were lacking things. And now looking back, my kids watching the dance are like, okay, we understand why we didn't make it to finals. Like, we understand, we get it. But it was a tough pill to swallow for them, because it was like a roller coaster. You go through so many emotions on that day of, like, finding out that you are in 2nd going into finals for jazz, and it's like, oh my God, we're going into finals in 2nd. And then that same time they had won. And I think we were watching your jazz during our announcements. So my kids weren't even there to hear that we didn't make it to hip hop finals.
We were at hip hop awards.
Yes.
Because I remember coming out and, like, all of us, like, on a high.
Yes.
Or no, we performed hip hop. It was a performance.
Yeah. It was a performance.
We performed hip hop.
And JV, we were watching hip hop.
Like that.
Right. We were watching hip hop, and our parents stayed behind. And when they got off stage, and we were so happy because they just nailed their hip hop dance, and we made it to jazz finals, and we're in 2nd place for the first time, and we're walking up the stairs to go see our family, and they had these faces, and they were like, I will never forget my mom's face. She was like, and I was like, no. I was like,
and I had no idea for a while, for like a solid 15, 20 minutes.
You went backstage, you watched your dance, then you do the tunnel.
And when I came out in the tunnel, I think it was Jeanette, my aunt, who came to me and was like, JV didn't make finals. And I was like, oh no.
No, it was, my officers at the time, like, ran to a corner distraught, and I, like, went after them, but I still wasn't, like, coach mode. Like, I wasn't crying yet. I was just like, let me console my kids. Let me tell them it's not the end of the world. Like, everything happens for a reason. Tonight, we only focus on jazz, and let's see where that takes us. We can be in 1st or we can stay in 2nd, and it is what it is. Let's move on. Let's kumbaya. Everybody gather yourselves. Like, don't let anybody see you cry. You're fine. And then I walked back with my team after consoling them, and I gave them, like, a whole little speech, and I was still like, you got this, deep breaths. And then you came up, and I was walking towards Alexandra, and the moment I saw Alexandra, I just started hysterically crying, and you gave me the biggest hug, and you were like, it's okay, it's fine. And I was like, I'm just so sad for them. Like, it was tough. But that night before finals, my kids stayed up till 3:30 in the morning. We perfected jazz from beginning
that
to
was crazy.
End. Yes. And they didn't complain. They didn't bat an eye. They were like, we are going to be on this grass for however long it takes. And that was the longest rehearsal we have ever had in Nationals history.
And they were one mind in that moment.
They had never been so focused. It even started, like, sprinkling. And at Nationals around that time, it wasn't as cold as this past year, but it was a little chilly, and they were all in their hoodies, and it starts sprinkling. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to want to go back to their rooms. Like, we're going to have to move, go. They put their hoodie on, they tied it up, and they were like, let's keep going. And it was sprinkling. And then the actual sprinklers in All-Star went off. So we're in the drizzling rain. The sprinklers are going on all around us.
It's like a show.
Yes. And my kids are just like, play it again.
Locked in.
Do it again. No, this wasn't good. Do it again. And I didn't have to ask that of them. They wanted it because they were like, okay, if we were meant to only focus on one dance tonight, we are going to give it our all. And I will never forget, 3:30, I ended practice. We all went upstairs, and one of my kids was like, my mom wrote a prayer for us. Can we all meet in the little hallway of our rooms and pray? And it was 3:33. I will never forget. We were all holding hands. She read the whole prayer. We were all crying, and I told them, no matter what, moments like this, that's what matters. Like, this is what you take with you. Not, we didn't make it to hip hop finals and we got second place in jazz, which is still amazing. My kids were over the moon. They were so proud of themselves. But it's those moments that you can look around to your team and know that the person next to me is going through the same exact thing. We all want it. We all want the same thing. Let's put our best foot forward. Let's give it our all. And whatever happens, happens. Whatever's meant to be is meant to be. But the fact that at 3:30 in the morning, after a super long day of rehearsal, you were all able to come together, not one person complaining, everybody focused, attentive, taking in their corrections. It was, as a coach, like, that is one of my proudest moments because I'm like, okay.
And it's a growing up moment for them.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's like when they take that step to like maturity, growing up. Like,
Yep.
I am not a little kid anymore. I'm understanding.
Yeah.
This is what I need to do. This is what my team needs to do.
Yep.
Let's go.
And it set them up for this year.
And that's exactly what that did. So after coming off of that, they were more determined than ever this year. From day one, we looked at our judges' critiques and we took in every single thing that the judges had to say from the year prior. And every single day, we would write on the mirror the corrections that we needed to take in, whether it was projection, whether it was using the entire room, whether it was using our depth, making sure that we're using upstage, downstage, whether it was our technique, our facials, making team facials. There was just so many things that we did this year that they truly, I have never seen a team be so, they had a champion mindset from day one. And I always was like, what did we do when we were on Kudat's? Like, what did I do as a captain that got us in the mindset? But it's not one specific thing that you do. It's a lot of little different things, and then having a group that wants the same exact thing.
Yes. Having that team culture from day one.
And that's exactly what we did. We set our goals. Our goals from day one was both dances make it to finals, 2 medals. If a jacket comes with that, fantastic. If it doesn't, 2 medals, because we want hip hop to make finals and we want to continue to medal for jazz. So if we walk away from nationals this year with 2 medals, with or without a jacket, we are happy because we met that goal. And thankfully, they worked their butts off and they had that champion mindset in every single rehearsal, gave 150% every single rehearsal, and we walked away with a jacket. But they also, in June, I think at camp, UDA had changed the rules because the year prior, it was 4 of us, they took top 3 for hip hop. This year was the same thing. There was 4 of us, but they changed the rule that all teams would make if there was less than 5, and I did not tell my team. And so for the entire year, I had to bite my tongue, be aware of what I would tell them. There were times that we would be in hip hop rehearsal and I would tell them, that's not gonna make finals. What you just did, you have no place. You're not gonna make it through to anything. And in the back of my head, I'm like, they're gonna make it no matter what. But they can't know that. They have to fight as if that is what they want. And that's exactly what they did. And we got first in hip hop, which is again Lourdes Academy getting first in hip hop.
I know the craziest part is that the first 2 jackets each team got was in hip hop. And the first year we went to UDA, neither team made it to finals for hip hop.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Talk about a comeback.
Yeah, and little Catholic school girls becoming hip hop queens.
And hip hop is my everything. I started with hip hop at 3 years old. I've always been a hip hop girly. Like, that's just who I am to my core. So then to be able to watch these girls win a national title in hip hop, I'm just like, wow, that makes me so proud. Like,
and it builds now it's building a team that they understand what's expected and they want to keep that. So the next group comes in, they're just going to follow along.
Right.
Well, and they were a perfect example of a team that deserves it and gets rewarded for what they did on the day-to-day.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really easy for a team to come back and be like, oh, we're national champions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's hard for a team to put in the work every single day, act like a champion, and then go in and become champion.
And the hiccups that we had this year.
The resilience.
Many, right. They are a resilient group of girls. And my seniors, they made sure that those freshmen knew what it felt like, even though they weren't physically there. They reminded my freshmen every day, this is how we felt, and we do not want you to feel that ever, because what we felt that day not making it to hip hop finals, we don't wish that on anybody, because you work really, really, really hard, and then it doesn't happen, and you're, what did I do wrong? What didn't I? There's just so many things that, and there so much goes into it, but the feeling of working an entire year and then not making it after you've made it for the last 2 or 3 years, they instilled in my freshmen. Like, you do not want to feel that, and we're going to do everything we can so that you don't feel that. So we need you to do everything you can to ensure that us as a team don't feel that again. And my freshmen got it super quickly. They were like,
no, and now they will be ready for next year.
Exactly.
Yes. Whether they're on JV again or they move on to varsity, those kids, they're like,
they know.
They know.
They know.
They have a mindset of like, this is what we
need to do. Exactly.
And I think that they've seen the difference. Like, I think that when JV didn't make it to finals, not everybody was on the same page.
They weren't.
This year that
half of them wanted it, half of them weren't.
Right. And then like this year that varsity, not everybody was on the same page. They didn't get their win. They still got a top 3, but they didn't get their win.
Right.
Seeing that each team, when each team has had their moments of being on the same page, that they want the same thing and they're willing to put in the work for the same thing, that makes the difference. So I'm glad that each team has had their ability to see what it takes.
Yeah, and I've said this to you so many times, but that's exactly what happened to my senior year.
Yeah.
We all didn't want the same thing, and we walked away from team after devoting 4 years and everything that we have to cadets. But that's what happened my senior year, and we were devastated. Do you remember? I don't even know if you were there, because I think you like walked out because we were being such sore losers. Or maybe you were there, but I vividly remember Kristen Liu screaming at us. We were sitting in the tunnel backstage, hysterically crying, and she was like, you don't deserve it. You didn't work for it since day one. If this is what you wanted, that's what you should have done.
I remember being there and Danny Solano going, don't be mad when JV goes home on the bus.
Warm, nice and
warm.
And it's the truth. We were sore losers because we thought that we deserved it, and we did not.
Because you guys won, so you felt like it's whatever. It's
right, this is ours.
And there's always a team that's hungrier.
Yeah. Always. And the part which I talk to my teams every year, the importance of the connection amongst the dancers. Like, you cannot disconnect. You cannot, you might have an issue with this dancer at some point, but fix it because that is going to come off on the stage. And it doesn't matter. You guys were such a talented group. Like, every single one of you were beyond talented.
We were so great.
But it didn't matter. You guys couldn't learn how to dance together. And it showed on that stage.
Oh, it showed. And it's sad because we were the same group from my sophomore year. And at one point in time, we were more connected than any team in the 4 years that I was there.
Because your sophomore year was Misol?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my sophomore year. It was me, Angelina, Brittany, Amy, Sam. And then that freshman class was fantastic.
No, you guys were super, super talented.
Yeah.
Brittany.
Yes.
I mean, it was just beautiful.
I've come to see that officers play a very big part in that.
Yeah.
And if the officers don't connect in that way, that's a huge problem.
We didn't, right? We didn't.
And like if the co-captain isn't on the side of the captain and the captain doesn't agree, like they need to come together.
Yeah, it was a huge disconnect between me and my officers my senior year.
And as officers, you have to understand that in front of everybody, you need to agree with each other.
But even to have a strong team, even outside of the classroom, even outside of the studio. I might not want to be best friends with you, but I have to respect you.
Yeah.
I can't talk bad about you.
Yeah.
I can't put you down. I can't talk to other people. Oh my God, her. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You can't do that. You have to show that respect all year long. You're gonna have to bite the bullet and be like, no. I'm gonna put that aside, and I'm gonna focus on the team, because the team is what's important, not me. And that's
and you taught me that since day one. The first thing I remember you telling me is it's never I, it's we. And I teach that to my kids to this day. And if they talk to me about anything and they're like, I correct them. I tell them, we're a team.
That's you have to instill that into your team.
Yeah.
They have to understand, I win, we all win.
We all win.
Yeah.
You I lose, we all lose.
Well, we can't do this without each other.
Right.
We need each other.
You need each other.
And I mean, even with the way that we lead too, like when I first brought her on, the very first thing that I would sit her down, and Mia, because at the time we brought on Mia the following year, but it was in front of everybody, we agree with each other.
No matter what.
Behind the scenes, we can talk about it.
Right.
But in front of everybody, we need to be in agreement.
And your officers need to do that too, because they'll tend to be like, wait, but isn't it on 7? And you said it was on 8, and you're like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
Right.
Like, we could talk about it later.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But, it's the age and it's maturity.
It is. And they're all the same age, and it's finding that respect within each other to hear each other out and to have patience with one another. And luckily, our girls are really, really great friends. And for the most part, they all get along and they will all ride for each other. And that's one of the things I love about Lourdes, the sisterhood and the bond that they create. But respecting one another as officers, and like you said, making sure that you're on the same page, even if after the fact you go and you discuss it. But it starts at the top. It starts with, what are we going to model so that they can then do the same?
Well, and I think that when it comes to us as coaches, we're always going to say, like, you have your good and bad years. Mm-hmm. But as a dancer, you never want your senior year to be your bad year.
Right.
And you don't want any
me.
of those years being a bad year.
Yeah.
So we have many years along the lines.
Yeah.
But
they only have 4.
You have 4. So don't be
do?
that year that makes it bad. Like, don't be that year.
Yeah.
And it's just get through the 4 years.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
So I think, we've gotten lucky. We've gotten very lucky. We've had our learning years, and we've had those years of...
And there's still going to be more learning years to come.
We're still learning.
I've done
this. This is my 11th. This is going to be my 11th year, and I'm still, for some reason, there's still more lessons.
Well, Melissa, I am so happy to see how, everything that I've talked to, you've been able to take with you, and you've been able to help create your own team and teach other kids things that you learned, what worked for you, because I could have told you, hey, do this and this, but it doesn't work for you, or something else works, and you're taking that to the next level, which makes me super proud. And I love that you're working with Alexandra, and you're passing it along with her. So as a coach and as a mom, it's great to see how you guys have taken the team and really built it up.
Yeah.
And that both of you have been able to get white jackets.
Yeah, I know.
That's
You've been going home pretty cozy these years.
Yeah, and I'm grateful to the both of you. I'm grateful to you. You were like a second mom to me always, and you know that. And you have given me so many opportunities and have put so many opportunities in front of me and been like, go for it. Never once did I come up to you and tell you, I think I want to do this, and you were like, oh, I don't know. No, you always were like, that's what you want to do, go for it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but try anyways. And so much of Alexandra is you, and you are also so different, but you guys have the same morals, the same upbringing, and what I've taken from you, I have learned so much from you as well. And I'm grateful to be in this little corner and to still, after so many years, be able to have you guys to lean on, because I think it's important, especially as a coach and as a young coach, to have a community to be able to fall back onto. And there's just so many questions and so many things that and like second guessing yourself, and having you two has been a blessing in my life. So thank you.
Oh, we love having you.
I love you both.
We love you.
And to our audience, thank you for being with us here today. Watching Melissa grow up has been great. So you guys get to be a little part of that today.
Yay.
And if you like what you heard, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on Instagram. And if you have any questions or suggestions, make sure to click on the link tree in our bio and fill out our Google form.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you.